Hey, and welcome to Board with Life News for October 19th. Today I'm going to talk about Pandemic Legacy Season 2, Unlock, Gekido, Kings, Alien Artifacts, and the Kickstarter for Steal This Game. Let's get to it. Hey, I'm Chris. Welcome to Board with Life News. I started doing a Patreon, so I put a link on this. If this is something you watch, something you like, go ahead and support me. If you notice, we don't have ads on this channel anymore, which is entirely thanks to the generous Patreon backers. So thank you very much. Got rid of ads. Up next, we're looking at getting a podcast going for this channel and my content. So if that's something that interests you, you can go back. I was on Tuesday Night Games podcast this past week, so if you want to hear me talk about Board with Life and my game designs and kind of my life in general, you should definitely go check that out. And as always, the Board with Life Dungeons & Dragons podcast is ongoing. There's a link in the description below. It's gotten pretty wacky, and I'm having a good time listening to it, so I hope you do too. All right, on to board game news. This past week was Essen, and somebody tweeted out a photo from there of the covers of Pandemic Legacy Season 2, both the red and the blue cover, so we got a little bit of info on what's going to be going on in that game. It looks like it's going to have a really post-apocalyptic feel to it, just based entirely off the cover art. This is entirely speculation on my part. The red cover is more of like a desert and kind of like hot looking apocalypse, whereas the blue cover is a cold looking apocalypse with ice and such. So it definitely seems like the world is not in great shape in Pandemic these days. So that's really exciting. Pandemic Season 1 was a fantastic game. Obviously has a lot of fans. Is currently number 1 on the BGG best games list. So there's probably, I can't think of another game. First off, they're not really sequels in games very often, but I can't really think of another game that has as much hype as Pandemic Legacy Season 2. Space Cowboys released a little bit of information about an upcoming game they have called Unlock, which is going to be an escape room type game, but in the form of cards. They're going to be 60 card decks for scenarios that you're trying to accomplish. The base game is going to come with 3 different 60 card deck scenarios that are going to be Laboratory, an homage to a point-and-click video game, and an Indiana Jones type scenario. It also comes with a deck of 20 kind of tutorial cards that will help you learn the game. Apparently you don't need to read the rulebook, you can just go through this introductory scenario in conjunction with an app that is going to come with the game in order to do it. They've already announced that they're going to be releasing a expansion to this, so this is seeming a lot like Time Stories, where these things you play through one time and then you've kind of done it, so you keep having to buy content. And the second expansion is going to include a Haunted Manor, Pirates, and the Nautilus. And I don't know what they mean by the Nautilus, but the Nautilus nevertheless. The first edition is going to come out in January of next year, so if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you keep an eye out for that. Cool Mini or Not released a little bit of information about some upcoming games. First is Gekido, which is a 30-minute battle royale game where you're going to take on all the other players. I think there's 6 total robots that you can embody, so you're going to be one of them fighting for dominance of whatever arena that you're fighting in. It looks like a pretty simple game. It has some really cool pre-painted miniatures, of course, Cool Mini or Not, and it's going to be out the first quarter of 2017. Another Cool Mini or Not game that's coming out is called Kings, with a Z for some reason. I don't know. It's a 15-minute card bluffing game where you are competing to be the king of the jungle now that the old king of the jungle has died, and you do that with bluffing and backstabbing and all that kind of stuff. This is coming out January 2017. Portal Games released a bunch of information at Essen about upcoming stuff, including expansions to Cry Havoc, Stronghold, and 51st State, but the most interesting of it was a new game called Alien Artifacts, which is a 4X card game. So it looks like they're trying to take 4X games that are normally giant and expansive and take forever, and make it into a much more digestible size with cards, and it says it plays in less than an hour, so it seems like it'll be a lot faster than a lot of 4X games. The box art looks gorgeous. It looks like they're taking after Time Stories with kind of the stark white compared to the sci-fi future imagery on it. I'm a big fan of it, and this is coming out way in the future at Gen Con 2017. The Kickstarter this week is for Steal This Game. So, last week at Essen, Ludi Creations is a small publisher, and they had their cash box stolen at the end of the busiest day. Apparently, there were multiple other publishers that had their cash boxes stolen, so it seems like it was a coordinated effort by some thieves. So, obviously, that is awful and terrible. Ludi Creations had a really creative kind of solution, not solution, but a way to help them recoup some of the costs. So they had somebody design a game overnight for them that they play tested. Rado did a run through of it at the fair. and they had it up on Kickstarter the next day, and it's called Steal This Game. It's a nano game that fits on a postcard. One player plays as a board game publisher. The other player plays as a thief trying to steal money from that publisher. So it's a pretty interesting idea on kind of how to deal with the situation. It's up on Kickstarter right now for $5. You can also back and get some of their some of their SN releases at their SN discount price on that Kickstarter as well. So if you're looking at any of those games, this is a great way to get those. So yeah, definitely go check out that Kickstarter and help support people in the hobby that bad things happen to. Thanks for tuning in. That's the news. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you follow me on social media. I'm at Chris Bryan Games on Twitter and Instagram. And also, if you like what I do, go check out my Patreon, see some of the different pledge levels, and see if you're interested in any of that. I would really appreciate it. This week's question comes from at Julian Greenier. Greenier? Sure. And they ask, is there any game everybody likes but you don't? Yeah, I guess. I'm not a big fan of Settlers of Catan, which I know a lot of people kind of outgrew that game, but I weirdly, even when I was first playing board games, I didn't particularly like that game. And it's because the trading, oftentimes, people will just be mean to me for no reason, not for a strategic reason because I'm winning and they want to stop me from winning. People just are like that, I guess, because of the way I play games. So that game never really clicked with me. Also, Pandemic, like Vanilla Pandemic, I'm not a huge fan of because I tend to quarterback games, and Pandemic doesn't have a lot built in to keep somebody from quarterbacking that game. So I know that it makes the experience less fun for everyone, so I don't particularly like it. However, I really like Pandemic The Cure, the dice game, because the dice really help to kind of mitigate how much planning ahead you can do and how many other people's turns you can do. And I really liked Pandemic Legacy because the legacy aspect of it gave people ownership over their own characters. So, you know, maybe what's best for the team in the situation, I don't do because it's not what's best for my character or things of that nature. Plus, you don't always know what's coming next. So you don't always know what the best path to winning is in that game. So yeah, those are two games that are widely popular that I'm not huge fans of. Yeah, thanks for the question and thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next week.